All right, guys, welcome back to the Hawk Vision Podcast. I'm your host, Chuck Hawkins, here to help you shorten the learning curve on your way to greatness. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe across all of your social media platforms, especially here at YouTube. More importantly, share this podcast with other visionaries just like you. Before we get started, a lot of you have been asking, sending messages on how to support the show. So if you take a look at the show notes, you'll see a link to one of my favorite things. If you know anything about me, it's that I love me some coffee. So that's right now. So you can support the show by buying your favorite host a cup of coffee or two. And for those of you that do that, if you're a subscriber, you'll receive some extra behind the scenes stuff on the back end from me personally. As always, I cannot thank you guys enough for all the DMs, comments, and messages. We absolutely can't grow the show without you. That being said, our guest this week is someone that got on my radar a short while ago. And when I tell you she is absolutely killing it, guys, you don't understand. She's a real estate professional with 14 certifications in multiple nations. Headquartered out of Miami, she's an investor with a multi-million-dollar portfolio, helping people across the country realize their financial freedom using real estate as the vehicle to create wealth. And someone that I have a lot of respect for. I can't wait for you guys to hear from Miss Catalina Restrepo. Welcome to the show. Please tell me I did not murder that name.
Thanks so much. No, you did really good. Actually, few people nails it the first time, and you did.
Oh, awesome. Awesome. I am so thankful and grateful that you carved out some time to share with the guests here. My listeners, this is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
Let's have some fun. Yes. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about the origin story. What got you into the real estate industry? How did you get started?
Okay, so let's summarize because it's like a long story. So I'm gonna make a long story short.
Okay.
Nobody likes long stories anymore.
Right.
So my background is hospitality management. And during my career in hospitality management, I travel a lot. It required me to travel and to be contracted in many different countries for long periods of time. Sometimes, some other times, the contract times or terms were shorter, but I was always abroad, right?
Gotcha.
I'm a single mom. I support my mother as well. So with that being said, not only my loved ones, my immediate family, but my closest friends and the people in my circle kept kind of like growing apart. And I was kind of like drifting away too from like my close circle.
Sure.
Every time I would return from one of my trips abroad, my best friend got married, my other friend got kids. Now they have babies. I have to go meet a totally new family.
Right.
A lot of these trips, I will take my family with me.
Okay.
And obviously at the beginning, the first years was super fun because they get to see new countries and be in 5-star resorts and all these nice things. But after a while, it gets tiresome. After a while, they want to be home, they want to settle, they want some sort of normalcy and routine. So I had to leave them behind and then go work to a remote location.
Okay.
So I made a decision, I have to kind of like drift from what I'm doing, maybe a change or do it some other way where it doesn't require me to be abroad for so long, right? And it wasn't like it was a 5-hour flight or sometimes it would be 8-9 hour flight. It wasn't that bad, but another times, for instance, Thailand, it will be a full day traveling. So it's not like I can come see my family on the weekends, right?
Absolutely.
So with that being said, I made a decision and I drifted from my career in hospitality management to private portfolio management and asset management.
Okay.
So I was introduced to the real estate on hospitality management because I was working with high-end resorts, but I wasn't necessarily the one placing the resource on site or finding the location for these resources. I will arrive to work at the projects for wellness consulting or for the spa and stuff like that.
Got it.
So I wasn't directly tied to the real estate aspect of that side of business. So when I started doing private portfolio management and asset management, I was directly introduced to real estate.
Okay.
And after some years of being an asset manager and a private portfolio manager, I realized how much money I was leaving on the table by not being a licensed real estate agent.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, hold on. I'm assessing this portfolio. I'm managing this asset, and we just acquired this new portfolio, or we disposing this property.
Right.
And I have to refer this out to one of my colleagues that is licensed, and that's money that could be going towards my family, going in my pocket. But because I am not a licensed real estate agent, I can't participate in the transaction. So I said, you know what, this has to change. Yes. So when I realized I was leaving this money on the table, and the more I kept falling in love with real estate as a whole, I decided I want to be a full circle service. I don't want to be only the one assessing the property, the only one managing the asset. I want to be the one involved from point A to point Z in the transaction, from A to C, servicing my client and managing the product.
Right.
So from coming as an asset manager, I got licensed as a real estate agent, and I was full-time real estate agent. Then I opened up my own property management company. So now every client that will come in purchase and acquire a portfolio with me as their agent will be contracting my company to service the portfolio as a property management company.
I love it. You're keeping all the money in-house.
Correct. So all the money stays in-house, and obviously as I continue growing and growing and growing, then I have to grow my team and start hiring more people so we can keep our customer service and standards to the highest level.
Gotcha.
So, you know, from then to now, here I am. I now partnered up with Elena Cardone in EXP. I have a team of 60 agents throughout the world.
Wow.
Now we are global, a full circle global real estate team. I have offices and teams in Mexico, Colombia, Canada, France, soon to be Panama, Portugal, Spain, and Italy.
I love it.
And we are in multiple states here in the United States: California, Texas, Arizona, Georgia, Southern North Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York. So with that being said, we are national and global. Every customer, every client and their specific needs from any of these countries that I mentioned that wants to invest with us in the United States, use us as their vehicle to dispose their assets internationally, whatever country that I am open.
Yes.
We take care of that transaction there. The company serves as a vehicle for the currency to come here and invest with us in any states in the United States.
I love it. So before we go on, I want to stop right there because that's important. A lot of people always ask, how do people come from other countries and they already have wealth built here? Or where do people from the United States send their money since there's so much taxes here? And you've been able to create a company that is literally a vehicle for people to be able to buy real estate in other countries. So my first question is, when all the markets are so different, right? Like you mentioned that you're in California. I'm in California. And so the market in Miami is not the market in California, right? What works here doesn't work in Alabama. How long did it take you to realize that you could come up with a system that would work no matter where you were?
Well, real estate is an industry based on numbers, right?
Okay.
And the numbers don't lie. The numbers are the ones talking to us, right?
Okay.
So once I team up and partner up with somebody that's really knowledgeable and somebody good, or even if they are not fully knowledgeable, because I provide full training for those new agents that come to the arena not having the experience.
Yes.
So either if you are fully experienced or you are at the beginning of your career and you team up with me, I'm gonna either maximize all your knowledge and your skills, and we're gonna polish you to take you to the top, so we can provide the best service in all transactions,
Yes.
regardless of what state you are. Or if you are new in the industry, I'm gonna polish you. I'm gonna develop you, because I know the higher you go and the more resourceful and knowledgeable you get, the better it's going to be for all of us as a
Absolutely.
team, right?
Absolutely.
So, for instance, in California, yes, I am not in California, but I have really good agents in California as part of my team, with experience in many different areas in the real estate arena, be
Right.
commercial, residential, multifamily, investments. We have it all. So it's very strategic how we plant these seeds everywhere we go. So we continue to grow in the proper way, where we can
Yeah.
service in a structure better for all of our clients.
So if I wanted to be a real estate investor, should I start inside California, or should I move to a state where it costs maybe a little bit less to get into the game, right? Because everything in California is $1 million off the top. Like, that's just everything's, and I know Miami's the same way. So like, should I look at maybe Texas, Arizona? Where do you think is a good market for somebody that's beginning?
Well, is personal preference.
Okay.
Because, for instance, I have investors in California looking to invest here in Florida. I have investors from Washington investing in Ohio. I have investors from New York investing in Mexico. So it's more of a personal preference and the type of portfolio, the type of deal that they're looking for, and how they want to utilize and move their money, and what's the exit strategy or the end goal on the investment. So it's not only a personal preference, but it depends on all these factors. We have to have the exit strategy in place. We have to know what's the end goal. We have to come into the deal with all this in mind, so we know, well, you have the perfect scenario in your backyard, right where you are, to start investing, or if you feel comfortable, we can start out of state. So it all depends on the client and the criteria of their acquisition and their structure.
Okay, that makes sense. And so you also have a multifamily aspect to your business, which is kind of where you take some of your newer clients and partners. Talk to me about why multifamily is such a hack that people can use, and why you endorse it so heavily.
Well, I am multifamily expert. That's where my passion got founded in real estate. The story behind it, like the beginnings of it, are based on my personal experience and my personal story, right?
Okay.
As a single mom, I was always worried about living situation, cash flow, passive income, all of these worries as a single mom, the head of the household, the only provider.
Right.
How can I multiply my money? How can I multiply my time with my family, right? How can I do both without having to sacrifice so much of one or the other, right?
Right.
So I began by investing in a fourplex. Was my first purchase. I purchased a fourplex. I did an owner-occupied acquisition. So I moved it into the bigger unit, and I was able to collect 3 different rents.
Right, from the other 3 properties.
Correct. So I moved into the bigger unit because I wanted my family to have more space, but I should have be in the smaller unit, collecting or not collecting the lowest rent because I was occupying the unit that was producing the most money. So
Right.
I was taking a loss there.
Okay.
So I moved into the bigger unit. I rent out the other three, and very soon, very shortly, I learned that pretty much all my living expenses were being covered. I didn't have a rent payment anymore because now my mortgage was being covered by my tenants.
Right.
And so 2 years after that, I refinanced the property. I acquired a bigger multifamily, and I did this process time after time after time.
I love it.
So after that, all I could talk about in breakfast, lunch, dinner was multifamily.
Yes.
And after my experience, even with my first tenants, I became a landlord to myself and to my tenants. And even with my tenants, I will be asking them when it was time for their lease to be renewed, like the lease was going to expire, I will ask them, is your money working for you? Or are you going to continue to work for your money in a 9 to 5 or having 2 different jobs and sacrificing all this time and just exchanging time for money?
Right.
So that became my slogan, is your money working for you? So after I did this process over and over and my money started working for me, that was nothing else that I could talk about multifamily. So for instance, my team, I have 5 divisions in my team. We have residential for single family homes and condos. We have luxury. We have commercial for warehouses, industrial, multifamily over certain amount of units.
Okay.
We have multifamily investments, right? Either residential or commercial, depending on the size. Anything above 4 doors or 4 units is considered commercial. After 5 units is considered commercial.
Got it. Okay.
And then we have the property management aspect, right? So in my team, we have 5 divisions within our team, right? And everybody that comes to my team and every customer that we service in our team hears about multifamily. Everybody hears about multifamily investments. Everybody hears about, even if you are a first-time home buyer.
Yes.
Even if you are a first-time home buyer, you're gonna hear my multifamily pitch. Why?
I love it.
A lot of these families, for instance, that was me back in the day.
Right.
I thought what I wanted was what my family needed. But that wasn't the case. We needed something totally different than what I wanted, right?
Right.
So having our priorities in place, knowing our wallet, knowing our numbers, knowing our situation, knowing our current financial situation and having the end in mind and having a plan in place, commit to living within our means because we have a goal in mind, right? It's very important because obviously I get these first-time home buyers a lot of time struggling to qualify for the house that they want. Right. But it's not the house or the situation, the financial situation that they need to be in. So you have to educate the customer, you have to educate your client on mindset first. I get it. We all want to live in this spacious home. It looks this way. Oh my God, I like it. 2-story, this color, floors, the pool.
Kitchen be a certain way, the countertops. Yeah, my wife is in there listening now.
We all want that. We all want that. But what about attaining a financial situation where you don't have to struggle or work for your money to be able to attain that? What about allowing you money to work for you first, so you can make a purchase like that without having to struggle to make it happen to start with.
Is it harder to qualify for a multifamily than it is a regular residential?
It's the same. It's the same
Interesting.
process. For instance, your average first-time home buyer. Well, why don't you consider multifamily? Well, I can afford that.
Right.
How do you know? How do you know? First,
Because
you need to ask the right questions so you get the proper data. Because without the proper data, you're gonna make mistakes, and your decisions are gonna be based on misconceptions.
Fair, very fair.
But once you get the accurate information, and that's our responsibility to our clients, because now everybody nowadays is just working for a commission to cover their bills, and they forget about their clients' real needs and where they should be. How can you really impact somebody's life that way?
Right. Absolutely.
So once you get the proper data, you're gonna realize that the financing of a multifamily is pretty much the same as the financing for a single family home. In fact, a lot of times it's easier on the qualification process because the lender is looking at the income that the multifamily property is going to generate for you.
And they use that as part of the qualification.
Correct. So now your expenses are lower because they are counting with that income that you're going to receive from the rental.
Gotcha. And they merge that with the income you already come to the table with.
Correct. So for instance, let's say a single family home around the 500,000 and a duplex around the 500,000.
Yes.
Right? The qualification and the financing process is pretty much the same. The single family home is going to be 100% on you. The multifamily property, however, the duplex is going to be half on you, half on the potential income from the rental.
Got it. I love it. That's a hack. That is,
that's the first hack. Yes.
Yeah, but a lot of people, and I think it's important to talk about that because a lot of people don't know that on the residential side, yes, it's hard to qualify. There's tons of, we can speak forever about the different programs that people don't know about that are out there. But in terms of the multifamily, a lot of people, especially when I was growing up, before we bought our first properties, we didn't know that you could use the income from the other couple of doors, to qualify. We just thought it was out of reach.
In fact, there is programs where they are based only in the income that the property makes, not even on your own income.
I love it. Yeah, you just started something else. We're gonna.
Yeah. So again, it's so much information and it's so many misconceptions. People already has their mind made up. Right. Oh no, I don't qualify for that. You're telling yourself that without even knowing, without going to the source, without asking the right questions that are going to get you to the right decisions.
Yeah.
So first you have to get educated on it.
Yes.
Exposed to the scenarios and the information to then be able to make a decision and maybe implement a good strategy to attain financial freedom or a better financial stability where you can make moves and investments of that category.
I like it. How does someone end up being able to be mentored with Grant and Elena Cardone? How does that happen?
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said, how does someone come up with being able to or qualify to be able to be mentored by Grant Cardone and Elena Cardone?
There's many ways you can be mentored by Grant and Elena. They have multitude of programs, trainings, offers. Again, all you have to do is reach. You reach out and you get answers, right? Yes. For instance, when you don't know something, the first step is to reach out, right? In my case, I work with Grant. I was one of his asset managers and brand ambassadors
Okay.
for his multifamily units. He was at like 7,000, then now I think he's over the 10,000. So in my case, I came through that door, for instance, and formed a really good relationship with Elena. And after Elena got involved in real estate, she called me and she said, "Hey, you have to come and partner up with me and join me on this new venture that I'm gonna take on." And that meant coming in and be part of her 10X team and expand and gain territory internationally. So I am in charge of the Latin American market on her organization, and we are doing really big things.
That's so awesome. I think it's a testament, one, to your commitment to the industry, and then obviously the success that you've been able to have, because that is, most people can only, they hear Grant Cardone and they may have read the 10X book, but to have direct access is a whole different thing. So you're obviously a top producer, and you operate in a world that a lot of people would not be able to breathe in, let alone that part. But you're also a mother. You have a child that has a couple of special needs, if you don't mind me saying. How were you able to balance both of those worlds and stay motivated when you first began? Because a lot of women that'll listen to the show, they always say, I want to start my business, but I have this going on and I have that going on, and I have to be a mom. How were you able to manage the balance and the motivation?
So there is what I mentioned you have to educate people on their mindset.
Yes.
And you have to help them change the perspective, right? Why do I say this? Yes, my son is autistic. So my son is special needs.
Yes.
He's autistic. He is a huge 6 feet tall teenager, 16 years old.
Okay.
Bigger than me.
Yeah.
Yet he has the mindset of or the mind of a 5-year-old.
Gotcha.
And
okay.
He's nonverbal, right? So with that being said, me being the single mother, having to work abroad and having to leave my family behind, that's why I knew I needed a change.
Yeah.
But change, while you go through hardship, while you go through hard struggles, heavy struggles, it's not an easy pill to swallow.
Sure.
Change is not even something that you can comprehend the meaning of that word, right?
Right.
So I think we have to start by not allowing ourselves to victimize ourselves. A lot of us tend to be, poor me, oh, my life is so hard, oh, why this happens to me.
Yes.
And you go on and on and on with the oh my God, how am I gonna get this done? Right. The reason why I can do is because the current situation I'm in. On the contrary, my ability to not only ride the wave and come up was my struggle. My struggle was what kept me alert, what kept me pushing, what kept me, I gotta do it, I gotta get it done, I gotta find a way, right? My struggle with my single motherhood and all these high bills with my special needs child were the reasons why I kept going, I kept pushing, I kept reaching out, and I kept asking the hard questions, and I kept learning, and I kept inquiring, and I kept finding out, and I kept trying, because there was no other way.
Right.
So instead of allowing our hardship or struggles to make us a victim, we have to make a decision of how we are going to face those and conquer and really make a change that's not only impactful for us and our family, but to others. How can I be how can my experience, my struggle, my life story can be of service to somebody else so they don't have to go through the same,
Right.
or they save heartache and money, right? So
Right.
you have to put yourself as a vehicle as well for those people that can look at you, and you can be of inspiration.
Yeah, that's strong. I think that a lot of people tend to not look at it the way that you mentioned. Most people get stuck in the woe is me, thought process instead of saying, okay, this is literally the reason that I'm in this is why I have to do more, why I have to hustle, a little bit harder. So I obviously commend you for it. You don't need my congratulations, but I
Thank you.
understand the mindset.
But
Absolutely.
not only that, let's keep in mind that the industry that I'm in is a high percentage, I would say probably like 85% male dominated.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
it's even more than that. It gets even more difficult and more challenging because now you have to prove yourself twice as much.
Right.
And you have to, unfortunately, a lot of times in the industry, uh, prove yourself that because you are a female is not for them to ignore what you have to say or not take into account how powerful you can be.
Yeah, you definitely have to break down that network that they've already built in, right? Just to say, hey, I have this track record of success too, and we're killing it over here. Now, my dad always taught us that if you make enough noise, they have to come look, they have to watch.
I
So
agree. I
I'm a
agree.
fan. Let me say, if there was a formula, right? Say 75,000 and a 680 credit score, what could the average person start with to invest in real estate? Let's say they already own one home, maybe 75K sitting around, not necessarily in equity, but let's say it's cash or liquid or 401K or something like that, and a 680 score. Where would you steer them to start their investment portfolio?
Well, first, I will start by refinancing the current home that they occupy to get more money besides the 75,000.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? And again, start with if possible, start with multifamily, a duplex.
Okay. Okay. Isn't there a lot of competition for duplexes now? Like I know obviously in Miami's a hot area, Atlanta, here in California. How do you position your clients or your partners so that their offer is the one that goes under contract?
Well, you have to get with somebody that's a really good negotiator. You have to be able to be represented by somebody that's gonna present a strong offer, because right now in sales market, competition is everywhere.
Yes.
Obviously, there is different pricing across the country depending on the market that you're servicing,
Sure.
but you have to make sure that you go in with a really strong offer where maybe it's not totally about the number, but maybe you have a strong offer in many different aspects. So it's not so much competition just about the price, right? A lot of offers that we receive now might be over asking price, but they have contingency, so they have loan closing terms, so you have to make sure that you are setting your offer the right way, so it's a very competitive offer and it looks strong to the seller.
I love it. You have a lot of certifications. How, Catalina, how much time do you spend working on your own industry and your own personal growth so that you can stay, a top producer out there?
um I still pull all-nighters.
Are you serious? Even
Yeah.
now?
Even now I'm I'm a geek, so I'm a nerd. I'm always reading, I'm always learning, I'm always studying. So once a certification comes across me and I see it as something that's going to be of benefit to myself and my team and my clients, I I'm on it. I'm on it.
Right there.
And if it's a XY amount of hours to get the certification, I make sure that I put, a time frame that's realistic. And a lot of times on my weekends, I pull all-nighters. Maybe I go to bed and I get 3 hours of sleep for 3 or 4 days. I sacrifice it, and then I get my certifications done, depending on the certifications, obviously. I have a certification that is a global certification. Is expose you to all markets, Latin American market, European market, Asia. And I did it because we are global. We offer real estate services globally, but because it's gonna expose my team and my clients to a higher level of service and knowledge. So that particular certification took me a good amount of hours, and I had to put probably like two all-nighters for that one.
Wow, that's crazy.
And other times when I'm traveling and I'm on airplanes, I take my certifications hours as well.
Gotcha.
So you just have to find the time, and you have to make sure that the content is fully of your interest.
Right.
So you don't waste the first 2, 3, 5, 10 hours taking something that you're not going to go through with and you're not going to finish. So I always, by me, everything is interesting to me. Like, I wanted to learn about everything, right? So I have, like you said, every certification that you name, I have, and many of the ones that I don't have is because maybe one of my team members has it already. So what we do is we share all this content and all this knowledge in our weekly meetings. So if I don't have it, it's because somebody within my team has it.
He has it. Do you remember what it felt like when you got the first commission check, where you were like, okay, this is it. This is what I'm doing from now on. Do you remember what that felt like?
Oh my God, it was a really difficult transaction.
Really?
My first transaction gave me more training than your average transaction. It was a very difficult client, very difficult. It was a listing. So I was representing the seller. It was a difficult seller. It was a difficult buyer. It was far away from me. I had to commute. So it gave me a lot of training. It really got my feet wet very quick on everything that I was going to be looking forward to. And it wasn't so much about the first commission, but it was basically like, wow, it was this difficult. I encountered all these obstacles, and I solved it in less than 20 days.
Wow.
So to be my first transaction, I was like, wow. So I did it, and I did it. It was like 6 hours away from me. So it was remote. And back then I had no team. It was a solo team. It was me, myself, and I.
Right. And you were everything.
Yes, and I got it done. So it wasn't so much about the commission. Of course, it was. I think the commission didn't feel as good as it should have, because I felt like
all the work you did.
Wow, all I went through, and it doesn't feel that much money,
Yeah.
And it was still a really good commission check, but because of the amount of work that took, right?
Yeah.
But it was basically like, I'm ready. Like, if this was my first one, and I had to eat it, and I ate it, right?
Yeah.
I'm ready. Like keep them coming. Like, bring them on, because I'm ready. So it kind of like helped me lose that fear of that part of the industry that I didn't know yet.
Yeah.
Even though, so when you are new in real estate, it's so much that you don't know. Not so much for the lack of experience, but so many aspects to our industry. For instance, my team has 5 divisions. Why? Because we need them. And they are all so busy and so full of information and content. So when you first start, you don't really realize how much more is out there for you.
Yeah. Do you take the time to look back now when you have that downtime, whenever that is, but do you take the time to look back and say, wow, I've really created an absolute legacy? Like, do you look back at all the success and say, now I can sell the company, or now, I've done everything that I wanted to do. How do you look at all of the accomplishments so far?
Unfortunately, I'm really, what word should I use? I'm not good at that. I'm not fair. I would say I'm not fair to myself, because
Yeah.
we should celebrate all of our victories,
Yes.
small, big, medium victories. We have to celebrate them all. We have to give ourselves enough credit. And I fail myself time after time when it comes to that, because I talk to many people about my accomplishments like they are just another walk in the park.
Right.
And people is like, wow, like really, you did it, oh my God. Or like they giving me kind of like props, and I'm
I'm supposed to be doing this.
like, well, like what's the big deal, right?
Right.
I'm
Yes.
really bad. I'm really bad when it comes to that, and I don't spend enough time celebrating those victories or those accomplishments, nor I allow myself to take that little trip to the moon. I keep myself very grounded at all times,
Yeah.
where I almost feel that everything is so normal. Like
Right.
everything is as if I'm taking it for granted,
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's the way it was supposed to be. Yeah, like, but, like nothing is a big deal.
Yeah. No,
And
it's
I
funny
don't
that you
know,
say that. I
I
had,
don't know how good or bad that is. I just know that a lot of people tells me, well, look at yourself, where you come from, how far
right.
you have come, like all these things. And I'm just like looking with the normalcy glasses, like normal to me, right?
Yeah.
But I think too is because when you are not the smartest person in the room, you are always looking up high to somebody else that you admire or that's inspirational to you, and
Yes.
you're looking up to that person. Then you're always looking up to that person. You're always looking up to that other accomplishment of your colleague or somebody else that you look up to, right?
Yeah.
So it makes me feel very average and very normal.
Yeah.
And I remain very humble.
Right.
So when you see me in a group, in a gathering, you're never gonna find me talking about myself. You're never gonna find me talking about what I have done, where I come from, what I did, what I didn't do. No.
Yeah.
You're
It's
gonna
funny.
you're gonna find me asking people about their goals, about their plans, about their execution, about their strategy, about what's next, about how you got there, about you're always gonna find me inquiring about that. You're not gonna find me talking about myself or what I did do or didn't do or what I want or don't want or what I'm trying to get done.
Yeah. No, I like that. It's funny because I've had so many top producers, millionaire producers and owners of different companies on the show, and they all say the same thing. One is that they're all bad at taking time to celebrate their accomplishments because they're always trying to make sure they keep going. And then two is they always talk about what you just mentioned, which is helping other people get where they want to be, right? And learning from those stories so that they can learn more and get more and help other people as well. So you're not alone. It's just something, for some reason, people that are killing it like you do. There's something in you guys. There's something in us that makes us want to stay humble enough so that we keep the hunger going, so that we keep looking for the next big deal. So I'm a fan. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Let me ask you this. We're getting close to wrapping up. Um, you've lived all over the world. What made you choose Miami as home base?
The weather.
Even compared to some of the other countries.
Yes. Well, for instance, my mom is from Colombia, right?
Okay.
They have really good weather all year round. I'm always cold. I don't thrive in cold weather and cold climate.
Gotcha.
So when I was, for instance, in places like Europe, like Netherlands,
Oh,
UK, you will only see me there on summer. I mean, you will only see me in a good mood if it was summer, because winter gets me really. I need sunlight.
yeah.
I need clear skies. I need green. I need warm. So first, the weather, the culture. I can go to cold weather climate probably and be for a week
Yeah.
and be okay, because I know it's not definite. Like I know I'm going back home.
Yes.
But before, when I was working abroad and I was forced to stay for months at a time, I knew that was not my natural environment. Like I wasn't meant to be with gray skies, lack of sunlight, and temperatures like below 50.
Right. Yeah, no, that's not okay. I tell people all the time, it's easier to cool down. It's harder to cool down than it is to warm up. So I would always prefer, sunny skies.
But it was weather, proximity to the ocean, of course, and how easy you can move uh, to Latin America, or
Yeah.
other different places.
Oh, that makes
That,
sense. Yeah, because you have that connection over there as well. So we have this part of the show where it's called the lightning round, so to speak. I don't know how fast it has to be, but I'm going to give you a word and you tell me what comes to mind when you think of that word. Ready?
okay, go ahead.
The first word is leverage.
Leverage. House hacking like an investor, my online course.
Okay, we got to talk about that before we keep going. Let's talk about house hacking like an investor. We talked about the multifamily. What else can they expect when they work with the when they get that course?
Well, my house hacking like an investor course is giving the educational and the knowledge to all these people that, like we were talking about, your average first time home buyer, your investor that's just about to start with their first investment, second or third, and they looking to grow their portfolio. Is all this information on demand they can use and reuse and replay and go back and visit any given time they need to, that they can structure their deals according to the course. So my course is 5 modules, right? And it gives you the roadmap of how to start investing in multifamily, how to house hack like an investor and make your money work for you.
I
So it
love
gives
it.
you the structure and the strategy for success when it comes to your journey on the real estate arena, multifamily investment, right? It gives
Yes.
you the exit strategy, key points. It gives you the terms that you need to learn, how you look at the deal, how you structure it, what to look for, what numbers to analyze, how is it supposed to make sense for you, all this information that you don't know. And it gives you these downloadable workbooks for
Nice.
you to structure your own deal, for example. And at the end of the course, once you finish, if you have a deal that you're working on that you want me to work it with you, that you want me to analyze your deal and tell you this deal is garbage, don't go there, turn around, go back, drop it.
Yes.
Or yeah, make it happen. You need to work that deal. It's a really good deal. Even if you don't want it, I take it, right? So I help you analyze the deal
Okay.
and help you present the deal. You need to present it to a partner, a husband, a wife, a family member, and I help you make sense of it, right? So
Yes.
you get my time, my support, my attention once you finish the course and said, I'm serious about this journey and I'm going to execute and I'm going to take massive action, you get access to my private Facebook group where we discuss all of the 5 modules, and we discuss the different scenarios, different states, what the market is saying in different states, what acquisitions are looking like, all of this. You get access to that and more. And if you need any other resources while walking the deal, you have them with me. I make sure that with the course, you have my full support.
Yeah.
Either being that you closing the deal, being that you want to JV with the deal, whatever it might be, I want to be your main resource. And I need to make sure that you understood the content of this course, because that's how you're going to make your money work for you. Is your money really working for you? Let me see your strategy. Let me see your structure, and let's get it done. So my course is basically the glossary, the summary of how to get into the multifamily investments. And it gives you a little bit of insight of how I made it, how I did it, how my beginners were, like the beginning of my journey to where I'm at now.
Yes.
And you get access to my calendar, and if you need a consultation, you go click on my calendar link and you schedule your call with me, and I will be there discussing with you. So it pretty much tells you what to do, what not to do, what look for, what not to look for, and it makes things make sense for you as you move along in the modules.
Absolutely. So
this course was created not only for these people that wants to start, even people that's already doing it, but they learning through mistakes. They can implement all of this information to avoid those mistakes that keep them behind from moving forward or make more money, more profits in their investments, but also for all these good agents in my industry that they don't really know what's in the other side of the fence, like how to get into multifamily. I have a lot of colleagues that call me in the daily, hey, I have a client that wants to invest in this.
Yes.
How do I calculate the NOI? How do I get to the better cap rate? How can we do this? How do I present it? All these agents that have some knowledge or little knowledge about multifamily, I created the course for them as well, right? And I want to be the resource from working a 5-unit multifamily property to working a 200-unit multifamily property, a 500-unit multifamily property, a unit or a property that they can cost 2.7 million, 3 million, to a property that I have under contract for 55 million. So it gives you the foundation and it gives you the ground to gain this confidence on the numbers and the way you're looking at the deal.
That is so strong. So before
House hacking like an investor. Let's make your money work for you.
Yes, your money has to work for you. Before we finish the lightning round, I have to ask this question. Without giving names, right? No names, because we want to protect all the privacy. Why do you think you were able to partner with your most successful client on the biggest deal that you've had?
Trust.
Nice.
Because they trust me. They trust my intentions. They trust my knowledge. They trust my experience.
Mm-hmm.
And they like that.
Yeah. No, that's huge. I think when you're dealing with, multi-million-dollar properties, it's one thing to promise, it's another to deliver, right? And so they have to trust that.
There's a difference too where I'm not going anywhere. This is what I do. I'm not here trying to make another commission check, right?
Yeah.
And they see that. They see that because this is what I eat, breathe, sleep. this is my life passion, right? So
Right.
when they see that, they gain that respect and that credibility on you, that they want to go ahead and move on and do business with you.
I love it. Okay.
And
So
again, when you are a one-stop shop, full circle
yeah,
service for your clients, they don't want to be going to John for the acquisition, and they don't want to be going to Cindy for financing, and then come back to me for the disposition, and then go to Susie for the
right.
management. They come to me and everything is taken care of.
Yeah, no, that's important. That's also very key because I had someone else on. We were talking about healthcare. We were talking about a healthcare industry company here in California where everybody loves them because they keep everything in house. You don't have to go to one place for X-rays. You don't have to go do. People want to be able to do one-stop shop. That's important. It's for convenience. Will forever be something that people will pay for. Back to the lightning round. So the next word is communication. What comes to mind when you think of that word?
Crystal clear. Your communication must be crystal clear, even though my pronunciation right now is not crystal clear, please. Your communication has to be spotless. It has to be on point, on time.
Yeah.
Always priority and necessary. Communication is your foundation. Communication is the ground for your message success.
I love it. The next word is network. What does that mean for you?
Network, scale and expand. They don't flow you if they don't know you.
I like it. I like
So
it.
if they don't know you, they're not going to do business with you. So they're not going to cash flow you. So
They don't
network for
flow
me
you if they don't know you.
is scaling and expanding is based on your network.
Yes. Oh, this is good. This is good. The next word is dedication.
Me.
Perfect answer. I knew that was going to come out. Perfect answer. And then the last word is when you think of the word vision, what comes to mind?
Vision. A lot of times I envision so many things that I lack clarity. And then I have to start unboxing and structuring everything separately so I can have a clear vision. So with vision comes to mind clarity. Your vision has to be clear. Your vision has to be free of fogs, mental fogs, or doubts. Your vision has to have clarity.
I love it. Last question. What is next for Catalina Restrepo, and where can everybody find you online?
What's next for Catalina? We are expanding, we are scaling. I am taking on more team members, whoever wants to join the commission multiplier team. Commission multiplier team. I help you structure your commission in a way that your commission starts working for you, so you don't have to continuously work for your commission. So it's about to making your money work for you and multiplying your commission. What's next? We're going to continue to grow as a team. We're going to continue to expand as a team with our clients all over the globe. Soon to be in more countries, as I mentioned before, but currently growing our portfolio of properties, inventory, and services in Mexico, Colombia, Panama, with really nice properties that are coming. We have really nice oceanfront in Tulum, Cancun, Cozumel, Playa del Carmen, the best touristic areas in Panama, really nice mansions and houses in the mountains in Colombia. So we're expanding, we're gaining territory, and with this territory, we're gaining more agents and we're gaining more team members. So those who want to find me, make part either of my team or have access to my inventory of portfolio, be multifamily, be residential, hotels. I have really good inventory for hotels, multifamily, commercial and residential, or any other in luxury. We have really good too. So any type of real estate that you're looking for, we're here for you. If you want to be part of one of the best teams and somebody that's 120% invested in your success, that's me, in your development, you can find me at Instagram is catalina.com. So catalina.com. I'm sorry, catalinare.com. Catalina RE as real estate.dot.com. Facebook, Catalina Restrepo or Catalina Restrepo Realtor. And my website is catalinarestrepo.com. Also, you can just go to my link tree on my Instagram profile, and you're gonna find everything you need to find about me, my calendar, so you can book a phone call or a consultation with me. You can find pretty much everything else, phone number, email address, cr@catalinarestrepo.com, and my phone number as well. Very Googleable, very easy to find. And I think in LinkedIn is the same thing too, Catalina Restrepo. Nice. Or you can find me at the 10X headquarters as well, alongside Elena Cardone in one of our seminars or trainings that we offer our team members. You can find me pretty much anywhere you want to look for me. I'm here for, as a resource for anything real estate related. And even for that community of outbox motherhood families with special needs, you can go to outboxmotherhood.com. Outbox is outbox, OUTED, Outbox Motherhood, in Instagram, Facebook, or our website. That's our special needs program for families with kids with special needs, support and resources for those that need it and want it. You don't know where to go or how to reach out. That's another way to find me too.
So important. And I looked at the portfolio too. So there's some places that you got access to that I might have to say, hey, Catalina, me and the wife want to come out there and spend some time on those beachfront properties. They look real good out there.
Anywhere I can take you.
I love it. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, all my visionaries, you have been rocking with the great one, Miss Catalina Restrepo, talking about the wide world of real estate and how to set your family up for generations. You can house hack like an investor. I hope this interview was informative. I hope we've added a smile to your day, but most importantly, we hope we've helped you shorten the learning curve on your journey to success. Make sure that you look at all the links in the show. Buy your boy a coffee, like, share, subscribe across all the platforms, send in your messages, your guest suggestions. I cannot continue to grow the show without you guys, my visionaries, and I'm so appreciative that you gave us your time today. You know how it goes. There is absolutely no miracle that will happen without someone doing something. We'll either see you from the top or at the top. The choice is yours. Catalina, thank you so much for taking your time to join the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. Thank you to the audience. Let's build wealth through real estate. I'm here to help you. 305-607-2335. Give me a call.